So guys, I found a sweet guide. Now I don't mean like a guide, I mean like a sweet guide. So basically it's called Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's underneath that. It's called Working as a Team. 140 ratings, 4 stars. Sounds decent, right? So the description is this guide will or should show you how to properly behave in a team while playing competitive mode or anything in similar, and to succeed in the game by teamwork and support, moral and physical. It was supposed to be published in the early 2014, but we happen to have it abandoned it for 2 years. So here it is. Despite us putting plenty of time and effort into making the guide, it still may not be complete. And if you think that something should be added, let us know in the comments. No, don't even try advertising your trash on our guide. Every advertisement you post will be deleted as soon as it's noticed, and your profile will be reported. Thank you. Introduction. You're on the edge of your seat, your hand holding onto your mouse tightly, as if to represent the firm grip on that enemy M4 you've recently acquired. Beep, beep. You are waiting for that moment when the rhythmic bomb timer gets interrupted by that note so rhythmic sounds of your enemy's footsteps. It's all down to you now. Your whole team is out there somewhere, bathing in a pool of their own blood, murdered brutally, as if they faced not humans. But animals, or worse. Now it's up to you to take on the pack of bloodthirsty enemies who are willing to take a dump on the etiquette that just to see you join your recently deceased teammates. There they are. You hear the footsteps. At this point, the only thing breaking contact between you and your enemy are the secret doors of the nuclear plant. You hear the enemy fiddling with the bomb. You hesitate. What if it's a faked fuse? You wait. It's taking too long. You must be defusing. You take a deep breath. You pray to God in full strength, if you're into that kind of thing, and storm out at the enemy. A series of loud noises are produced from all sides. A sight of your perforated body hitting the metal grate. So many things fill your head. Where did I go wrong? Am I really this bad? Maybe it's because of my team. You hear the ghost of your teammates yelling, "Sugarbaby, uninstall the game, noob." But don't worry. It has happened to many. The thing is, you're not that bad at the game. You just feel that way because that's exactly how your teammates treat you. Welcome to the CSGO ranked community. In here, nobody gives a damn about your moral conundrums. All they care about is seeing that win and lose ratio inverted. If you really think you can actually get better at this game and you have great ambitions, well, then my friend, you can go suck a bag of flossless flavored lollipops, because that's exactly what the community wants you to do. You flame, you cheat, you team kill indiscriminately, and maybe, just maybe, you reach Gold Nova. It's all nonsense. Luckily for you, if you're any different from 95% of the CSGO population, you'll have to at least half brain and sense of goodwill to accompany it. The base of a good game is not founded by the amount of bodies you dropped with your skill. A good game's foundation lies in the strong bond between you and your team members. Individual behavior. If you want to successfully complete a match without conflicts with the team, care for your own behavior. This is a basic part of the guide. First of all, Do not look down upon your teammates. You are part of the team, not a shepherd, and with a bunch of sheep. Respect your teammates, and they will respect you. Second, never be negative. If you'll start complaining about losing the round, the situation will obviously get only worse, and your team will fail even harder. Third, avoid raging at your team. If you'll start yelling out loud at someone for falling at something, they'll probably start hating you, or just get even worse because they feel bad and be demotivated. Someone made a mistake. Tell them to make sure it doesn't happen again. Don't go Gunnery Sergeant Hartman on your mates. Sure, everyone makes mistakes, but that's because they're people, and not some kind of perfect artificial intelligence. Fourth, be polite. Avoid disagreements with your teammates, because every plan, the entire team... Let me restate that. Fourth, be polite. Avoid disagreements with your teammates. Discuss every plan with the entire team, and make sure everyone is fine with it. If someone can't hold down a spot, let them take another. The way that they're fine with. If you have their own idea for their part of the team's plan, let them do it, as long as it doesn't harm the team. It usually benefits the team. For instance, if the team rushes one spot and somebody decides to stay somewhere and watch the rest back, it will benefit the rest of the team, because that one person who stayed would either bring casualties to the enemies that tried flanking you, or inform the other team members that they're about to be attacked from their back. Maybe that guy, you would even break through the enemy's defenses by killing one or two guys that abandoned their positions to push yours. If he does that, he'll even be a counter flank the enemy team and aid you in the plan's next stage. Fifth, be helpful. If someone continuously makes the same mistake due to the lack of support, moral or physical, it doesn't matter, make sure to be the one who will make them in their desperate moment. If someone is failing at holding their spot down properly, it would make sense for that to happen, since they wouldn't be able to take all the enemies down by themselves. You're the closest teammate. Do not hesitate. Change your position and assist that teammate. If they are unaware whether they can do something or not, you know that technically they can. Cheer them up. Assure them that they will manage to succeed at whatever they're talking about. Whatever they are about to do. Let me get some coffee. 6. Be rational. If you see that one fancy Ishmael hawk laying on the floor and you usually miss with that weapon, do not take it. Continue using whatever you have, unless it's something that you're even worse with, until you either go out of ammo or the round ends. And of course, make sure to grab it once the round is over, just in case one of your teammates would need it, especially if they got a ton of money and you don't. Next round, they'll trade any weapon you prefer for that op you're holding in your hands, and still have approximately the same amount of money a round after. While you will have your very own weapon, as well as extra money to spend on the other important things. Also, if you notice that an area is about to be breached by the rushing, fearless enemies, and your teammates is already running like a crazy to that spot, don't follow them, and tell them to back up, since they'll probably be caught up in a mad spray down. So will you. If you'll be next to them, that is. 7th, don't act like a hero. If you got a successful performance in the match, don't shove it in everyone's faces, and don't assume that you're now fragging one-man army. 8th, believe in your team. Every teammate is valuable, and if they're not going to fool around, they're valuable. Any member of your any member of your team can make a huge contribution for a round to be won. So do not underestimate everyone straight away. 9th, never, and I mean never, grief. Even if you deal 1 damage to your teammate, you're putting them into a risk of dying. Since in some cases, people do survive even on 1 health point and save the round for you. Especially if your enemy is using an SSG-08 or an AK Scout. Fly for Russians, or up. Damaging your teammate for 15 health would make them completely vulnerable for an instant kill with any of the sniper rifles, maybe even automatic ones, since they deal approximately 87 damage chest shot with a scout leg shot with an op in 1 hit. As many, but apparently not all people know, giving enemies information on your teammate's location is also griefing. And it won't help your team win in any way at all. You're basically dooming them to die, since probably at least 3 of the enemies would rush at that same time to feast on that guy. I've had a similar situation. We were about to win. It's basically 15-9. We're about to win. I don't know if I got reported or not. I'm glad if I didn't. But I told the enemy team where we were going, and I told the enemy team where I was going. 2 times. And we won. So sometimes it's unavoidable. I did it out of like competitive honor. Give them a chance like they gave us a chance. Boom, shada boom. 10th, don't give up. Just do it. Even if you're playing against a smurf or a cheater, there are ways to beat them. Can't approach them in a direct combat? Use your thinking and throw an HE grenade or a Molotov to delay and or cripple them. They're usually pretty stupid since the cheaters usually aren't really capable of thinking properly. They just rely on that aimbot or wallhack they have. Suppressing their position usually also helps, since they're rush out and most likely die, despite always getting headshots. 11th, be informative. Even if you died and didn't make a single bit of use in the round, give your teammates information on where the enemies are. Keep an eye on every teammate's screen while you're dead. Be sure to be the first one to tell everyone that your mate saw the upper peeking somewhere or the enemies rushing, so they don't have to bother doing it themselves and have more time for their own fight. I mean, I've had that situation. I mean, could you honestly say that if you're fighting a really good person with a sniper rifle, that you should rush them to find out if they're actually sniping? No, don't do that. If someone says there's an opper in the middle by boxes on Palace, please refrain from getting your ass handed to you and rushing them from like from that tunnel stretch or the window. Just like rush them from either rush them all at once or you provide a decent distraction. Usually a flashbang is the most amazing way to rush someone. Okay. 12th, be friendly. Make sure your teammates feel like you're their bud and trust you. If a teammate knows they have someone reliable on their team, they'll obviously have something to fight for. 13th, speak the language that everybody understands. Like, seriously. Don't give me that 1337 elite talk. Don't give me, like, OMGs or GG or GH. Like, what the hell am I? How are people that are new to this game supposed to know what that means? I mean, you can easily use, like, Google Translate. Look up the language they're talking about and type in something that seems relative to what they're saying. And if that doesn't work, like, take a picture of it. Use a second device or something. At least try to understand your enemies or your friends' language. Even if it's just one guy, they could be a lifesaver. So 13th, speak the language that everybody understands. If you'll start speaking your native Swedish, Russian, or German, at least one of your teammates probably won't understand in a single word. And probably even hate you. The English, however, is understood by most people in this community, even if their knowledge of it is very bad, and they only know scraps of it. Yeah, knowing a little bit of English makes a huge difference. 14th, don't compare your score with your teammate. Losing while they've... Okay, 14th, don't compare your score with your teammates. Losing while you've got 10 kills, 0 assists, and free diffs. Maybe it's because you were hunting kills instead of helping teammate or doing objectives. 14th, don't be obnoxious. If you'll troll your teammates or consistently chat during combat, especially when you or a person are talking to both dead, you're disorienting the teammate and preventing them from hearing enemy footsteps, even gunshots. Maybe someone that's alive has to tell the others something important. Nobody will hear the cries of begging for help because of you. They will also relate the 9th rule, as well as 7th and 14th. So please, when someone is clutching or, quote, about to die because they are the only one on the team, please do not talk. Please don't. Unless you have some really good advice or good leadership skills, please. Please don't tell them about that one time you clutched. Don't tell them that one time that you changed your dog's underwear. Okay. 16th. Don't put pressure on your team. Someone is somewhere they're not supposed to be. Rushing, being slow. Don't scream at them. Don't team kill. Just warn them that they're doing something wrong and leave them be. Also relate to the third rule. 17th. Don't try to be Rambo. Rambo is a quote from a movie. I'm not sure if it's been translated, but Rambo is basically your definition of a rusher. Rambo is basically someone who rushes an entire team and kills them all. But Rambos are myths for a reason. They're made up stories for a reason. Because no one can do it. Unless they're really that good or cheating. So, 17th, don't try to be Rambo. If you'll rush 24/7, being so sure that you'd kill every single enemy in the team alone, you're most likely going to die because of that one maggot with an op or a P90 camping and waiting for you. 18th, keep up the economy. Don't waste all your money on guns. Okay? Not guns. The guns. You know, ops, the Gevs, you know. Yeah. Stick to the one you have or trade it for something else with a teammate that you'll definitely have enough money to buy with the next round if you lose this one. Subject 2. Individual behavior. Since Peter Green decided to add some points of his own, here you go. While defending or attacking site, do not be afraid to retreat and wait for your teammate to arrive. If you were to stay, there's a chance of you dying, which means one less teammate for the site retake. Or let me say that again, okay? While defending or attacking site, do not be afraid to retreat. Wait for your teammates to arrive. If you were to stay, there's a chance of you dying, which means one less teammate for the site retake. If you are feeling brave enough, you might just sit on the site and try to defend it alone. It is all up to you as a player. Have balls. Honestly, have like some macho. Don't flinch. Most players are bad on T side because they just wait for something to happen. Keep playing aggressive. I mean, when they say play aggressive, it doesn't mean rush. It means don't flinch. This right here is don't flinch. When you're being attacked, don't flinch. Don't freak out. Focus. You and that enemy are the only people you should kill. You'll probably fail at first, but once you get the hang of it, you will start playing better. And I advise you to watch this video below, made by Andrin on entry fragging. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.
But anyways, you want to smoke mid so you could go over cat. But the whole idea of playing aggressively as T's is all about pre-aiming, pre-firing, and if you already got like a mid smoke going and you're just rushing down the middle, the guy on the cat, like even if he gets fast catted, he'll get here. By the time you reach around there, a guy who gets fast catted will tend to be around right here. So even when you go down suicide, so that's the worry about fast cat. But if you know that they haven't fast catted or they're not gonna fast cat, like usually if you're running down mid and like down suicide and you already got a smoke going, and you just pop a flash right here. Anybody who's holding that angle will get immediately flash. If you throw the flash a little higher as you're running, like this is just a straight rush. And you come around the corner with your on the side because you're gonna pop flash that angle. So I mean that's just the rush way, but essentially you come, if you don't have that flashbang to your luxury or don't have the speed for it, you basically kind of, you can't really just walk up that close to cat. You gotta kind of peek the cat, you see there's no one there, you have somebody hold that angle for you, right? And then you slow peek, you check corners, crosshair right back up, headshot spot, and this is actually this is a really nasty headshot spot that operators tend to use, that I use quite often. Like I get on top of that box, I just see the head for half a fraction of a second, and I headshot the T from this angle. But this is a really nasty spot. You want to kind of be up close because I don't think it really matters, but he'll still get a good shot off of you. This is a really nasty spot. But then, you know, after you check that angle, you swing around, check this angle, gate spot, and then you gotta check this because a CT could crouch here, and you can just walk by without ever noticing him at this angle. So after you check gate spot, you gotta check this spot because you just come up, and now like you're here. Now there's another really annoying spot is a TT playing there, and like so a flashbang here, like it's all about using, you know, flashes and everything to get to a site, and it's about peeking and pre-firing at the same time. Like everything I mentioned is part of the gameplay, but you just gotta combine them all. It's not about, you know, this is how you're supposed to do it, but doesn't mean that it's the perfect way. Like if you know that nobody's holding the barrels or goose, you could do this, like pre-aim, come into a corner, pre-aim, barrels, everything. Like It's all about going through all the spots and checking it. It's like, okay, I know that there's no Monday there. There could be so many barrels. I can peek. Yep. Okay, the guy. Okay, there's nobody guy. Now they know I'm on cat, but that's fine because if they're holding an angle on me, I can still pre-fire them to death, right? His head is gonna be exposed. He takes one shot to the head and he's dead, right? One shot. So, if you let's just say you didn't fire yet, and you didn't even pre-fire. You see that there's nothing there. The guy on Goose can't see you yet, right? So at the spot, you pop flash. And you just clear out. Like, there's just really 3 spots. There's just only 3 spots. One there, one on top of there, and one in the corner. And then sometimes people hold it right there, but it's not usually the case. And if somebody does hold elevator, it's just real like when somebody's holding elevator, that means your long has been pushed up really up close, and he's forced to take the elevator, which literally gets him exposed to somebody here on cat, which he can only see our head while we can see his full body. Like, the point about the take is that you use pop flashes. Like, if you know that somebody's holding there and you didn't get this flash off, you could just go. I mean, you could literally just. I mean, he sees it until he sees it here, and he's forced to either turn away, fall back, or you get a free headshot on him because the flash is behind you, right? You get a free shot on anybody who's looking this way. I mean, ideally you want to be high up in the air, but sometimes, you know, you just gotta, because your crosshair is already this low. I'm not gonna, leave it at all. I'm just gonna pop that flash. If somebody's gonna peek me, he's gonna either turn away or kill me within the first shot. But ideally, you want to just go from spot to 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 spot. Like, you can pre-fire as much as you want. Like, if you get a whole team, like, I remember one of the worst nightmares of playing backside B was if you know that they only go 2B or like play 1 mid 1B. Like, the nightmare is that if somebody is playing that back box, right, you could literally have 4 of your teammates stand here pre-firing that box. I mean, eventually he's gonna pop his head up if he wants to defend it, right? And during all that time, somebody could just chuck a nade down there, right? And they could all push in. Like, 3 guys just need to spam that box. They could just pre-fire, and you can't do anything about it. And the same goes with the cat. You could just pre-fire the guys on cat. If you hit it, you hit it. You know, that's how you play aggressively as T-side.
Alright, so you saw it there, guys. That is a way to be aggressive. Flashbangs, shooting at spots normally snipers or people would position themselves. There you go. If you are not comfortable with going for entry frags, then you should try to become useful to the team somehow. Try to hold angles, which your teammates are not watching. You can also watch your teammates' backs. You could even become a bomb carrier instead. Love this picture. Team communication. Communication is essential to this game. When you are something, say something. Let your team know what's going on. But don't be a mic spammer. Yelling down your mic, long, 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 once. Just say it once. Okay, if somebody's that long, just say long once. Once you see the enemies peeking with a pistol, that's when you say long. It's a lot better for the team to have a good gameplay and good individuals, in my opinion. When on CT side or counter-terrorist side, always try to give info on everything you hear or see. And don't joke about it. I mean, it's things that actually matter to the team. If you hear someone near your bomb site, call it. If you hear multiple sets of footsteps or If a smoke and a flash get thrown at the same time, you know it's 2+ people. This type of information is vital. Always give information about nades being thrown in your area. Grenades. You know, Molotovs, flashbangs, decoys, that kind of thing. It gives everyone an idea of what's going on around you in the map and possible enemy positions. For example, on Mirage B, if you see 2 smokes being thrown on the site, it might indicate that the enemy is planning to attack that site. However, do not tell your teammates to rotate straight after you see a couple smokes, flashes, and being thrown onto site. As you play more, and more you will know when to call a rotate and when not to. Let people know when you are smoked off. If you are supposed to lurk B on T side, say B, when you're supposed to lurk B, that means the area position called bomb site B. And T side means terrorist side, like where they spawn, or where they would normally come from. And they will smoke it off. So let people know when you are smoked off. If you are supposed to lurk B and T side, and they smoke it off, let your team know it's smoked off, and you probably won't be doing anything. If you are supposed to do something and you can't call it, for example, if you are in A bomb site, apps, apartments, on Day Inferno, on terrorist side, and they smoke it off when your teammates are calming down truck side, you need to let them know it's smoked, and you can't do anything to help them. Always warn your teammates if you need backup. Many players do not have game sense and will not rotate instantly. If you have 4 enemies breaching through your position, not just battling from afar, tell your teammates they should be rotating. Always notify your team when you switch your location from the one you defended earlier on. This is very important. The lack of information, you might potentially kill one of your teammates. It's very common for somebody to rush an area in a when your teammate, if your teammate is not aware of your position or is not aware that you're moving, they'll often accidentally see you from the corner of their eye instead of what you look like on the map. They'll probably shoot you. They'll probably do damage that would likely give you a lethal dosage of death, or set you up for an instant op or SSG kill. Always, and I mean always, make a call when you die as to where the enemy was. And if you don't know, say where you were, but you don't know where you got shot from. If your team sees you somewhere on this radar, DDoS 2 on mid for some example, but you were actually on cat and they don't realize, that's a big difference. Always inform your team about buying an op, and always give info to your team about having an op, so that you don't end up with 2 or 3 or even 4 ops. Basically, you're probably saying, well, wouldn't it be an advantage for everyone to have an op? Well, that's a big problem. If everyone has an op, that means nobody can rush. It means everyone has to camp. Sniper rifles are only used for long shots, mid shots, and that's it. They can only be camping or waiting for the enemy. If everyone has an op, it's really expensive, and the teams who don't have an op can get your op, or anyone's op, if not everyone's op. And if you are really good with an op, then follow someone who has an op, or ask. And if someone wants to follow you for your op, or just appears that they're doing that, let them. Don't be a jerk about it. If someone wants your op, either wait till you're dead or switch guns with them if they're better than you and you realize it. Thank you. And if you are going to deploy a flashbang in front of a teammate, if you are going to deploy a flashbang in front of a teammate, try to notify him about it before throwing the nade. Sadly, I can't cover everything on the subject of communication, as a lot of it comes from experience and your ability to think well and quickly. As you play more and more CSGO, you will learn more on the subject of communication and hopefully improve. If you got any questions, don't hesitate to comment on the Steam profile or just simply add me, Peter Green. Just click my name below the credits section, Peter Green. Physical support. And not that kind of physical support, you jerk. I mean, all kinds of support. The most important thing in competitive mode is teamwork. At all times, make sure that your team gets the least possible amount of casualties. Always be ready to help someone protecting another position in case they would get a Zerg rush going right at them. A Zerg rush is a reference to 5 people all at once attacking, or an impossible to, fight off against attack. If you do that right, aside from saving your teammate, you might as well just kill every single enemy and win the round. Sticking together as a team and helping each other also puts coincidence into your teammate. Confidence. Moral support. I cannot crucialize this enough. The second most important thing in a proper team is the moral statue. And when we say moral statue, we mean your ability to cognitively, physically, and mentally play CSGO. Your motivation is all on moral status. Every teammate is valuable. Even the weakest may save you a round or two. And if someone's feeling down, cheer them up and explain that your team always stands a chance if it tries. Even a cheater can be defeated if your team knows how to do the job, right? Or someone gets lucky. If team members make a mistake and loses the round for the team, don't push salt into their flesh. Quote unquote, don't yell at them. Like, don't be a jerk. Next time, they'll try harder, and it's your job to make sure that happens. Who knows? Maybe after a few rounds, you'll be on top of the scoreboard. I mean, for me, example, I have been at the bottom of the bottom, and I've reached the top of the top in full-length competitive matches. More than once. Griefers, trolls in the team, not a problem. The main goal of so-called trolls is to ruin your game, annoy you, or humiliate you, while you did nothing to them. And you reacting, raging, or anything related to aggression to it only confirms that their crap is working. Make them keep it up and make things even worse for you. Don't do that. Basically, here's what you should do. If you find a troll, you see a troll, and he's a jerk, and you don't like him, and he's purposely wanting your team to lose, just forget about the match. It's not going to work out for you unless you get rid of them. Not only do they pull down with their poor performance, they will also damage you, scream at you, block your path, and so on. Next time, make sure to play competitive in a full, semi-full lobby with trustworthy, reliable friends who would help you clean out the trash and enjoy the game in peace. But for now, simply try to get as many kills as possible so that you'll be less likely to lose your rank. If you're continuously getting into teams with 4 pre-made trolls who would kick you on the 14th win after you carried their score silver asses, just get a friend to join you and you'll be unstoppable. Basically, the only way you can kick someone in a competitive match is if all 4 people on that team, or of any 4, agree completely in a vote. Never shoot back or damage a teammate on purpose. Not only are you risking getting an automatic cooldown for griefing, but they can also report you. And Overwatch may sometimes miss the part where they did the crap to you, especially the voice chat, because it's not included in reports. Basically, if you report someone for using abusive voice chat or texting, in some cases it doesn't come first. So you gotta make sure what you're doing is professional. Having toxic teammates, quote, trolls, that keep standing in the doorways and shooting at you, well, avoid them. Simply avoid them. If they shoot at you, help them with it and get them banned. Someone keeps screaming or insulting you instead of saying something useful or being quiet, block them via the scoreboard and forget about them. And what I mean is, if you don't know how to do this, not saying that you don't, I'm just saying if you need to know. When you're in a match, hold down tab, right click on your mouse, and then go to the name that's emitting a noise that you don't like and block them. And via anything you need for the options that are provided to you. If you don't know how to humiliate the trolls with words, simply ignore whatever they do and don't respond or react to anything. If you just say something like idioto americano, stop grief, hanya, it only gets them excited to troll you even more. Here comes the credits. Saab, introduction section, Peter, team communication section, Damanta, main offer, and Mac, the image providers. Well, we can check out the comments below. As you can tell, people who comment on this are sometimes jerks, or don't take the game seriously. Alright. Thanks for listening. I'll move on to the next part, or a different way for you to listen to something. If you have a friend who needs a translation done, I can only do that with a voice translator using a translator from Google. Otherwise, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, like and subscribe, and please visit Shaz Damonta and the free collaborators below in the credits. They did a lot of work, they worked really hard, and they are depending on you to make CSGO better. Now, those of you who are also interested in getting better and aren't really that interested in the previously stated comments, or the previously stated guide, here's a second guide for you, a little more to your physical type. It's called CSGO Callouts with Minimap Support Juror by Gezex Desdorms. For English, 4 days of work at any minimap. With each callout, I'd share them with CSGO community and would simultaneously help beginners who have just started to play CSGO. So here you go. Introduction. Should disagreements in order to call outs on respective minimap give you or should have what entered. I'm gonna take it that this guy used Google Translate, but at least he tried. Okay. I'll have to talk to him in German. Anyhow, so basically, this is a callout map in English subtext. These are the names. If you want to look this up, this is the guide for CSGO, under CSGO. You come here, you check this. This is a lifelike example of the map from every CSGO area. For instance, this is called Assault Callouts. This is pretty good. Of course, when you're playing the game, it'll tell you in your top left corner of your screen where you are positioned, and you can use that to tell them where you are. Some people don't know that. It can happen. But this is a place you go to if you want to learn it a little more easily than just running around the entire map. Okay? This is a great thing because you can use these to do plans. You can plan out things with your entire team, entire strategies. Imagine it, you becoming a strategy master, inventing strategies no one's ever thought of, and they work for specific situations. Now, some of these maps aren't used, but we never know when we're going to use a map we don't normally use. So here you go. Now you can easily copy, paste, save, and use this for anything. So big call out to this guy for not only taking pictures but updating it. This guy is awesome. This is something I wanted to do, but he did it first, and that makes him all the better of a guy. Alright, let's look up our next base camp operations here. So let's call Mirage Smokes tutorial. Console commands. All sorts of things you can learn from. Okay? I'll get back to you when I find something good. Alright, so I found this guy, Mirage Smokes. It's got a fancy name. You can see it right here. Right here. Love the anime picture, if he ever reads this. Now, these are pictures of spots. I love that. These are pictures of spots where you can throw your smokes in Mirage. You can smoke CT, you can smoke bench, you can smoke short fangs. Great place, great sights, good skill. You could learn a lot. Okay, for those of you who don't know console commands, it's basically, you know that little curve? For those of you using an English keyboard, and understand me completely, there's a little teal, a thing called a teal. And, oh, okay, maybe it's not called a teal, but I call it a teal. It's in the top, very top left of your keyboard, underneath escape. Normally always underneath escape. You press that, your command thing pops up. If it doesn't pop up, just go to your settings inside your CSGO thing and select that you want that to be turned on. Sometimes it's automatically off, sometimes it's automatically on. Depends. You can use, when you open that up, these commands are primarily used for areas in custom maps or private maps only. Some of these things you can actually use to turn off and turn on. For instance, if you don't like that your character is using a right-handed fighter, right-handed shooting area, you can use the left-handed shooting area. Use your left hand. These are good codes that you can use later. Got the names, got everything. In fact, now you're probably wondering, what's the, what are these things? What are these right here? It's just to adjust the colors of your radar. Or your hub. Your hub is basically, the numbers that indicate who you are or what you have. are the numbers that indicate what you have on you, like your health or your ammo. They can be changed different colors. Cheat commands. Here you go. You can use these in basically any private match that you choose. That means even on custom maps, offline maps, and maps that you're doing with your friends at that very moment. Now you're probably saying to yourself, these look boring, they look annoying. Well, look, you can hold down left click, you can go to this, you can right click it, you can totally copy it, and yes, you can copy and paste it inside the match that you're playing in private. Open up your command console, plop it in, boom, you can use it. Now, the advantage to using these are so that you can upgrade your skill with that specific weapon, that specific situation that you designed for yourself. And yes, you can kick yourself. Alright. Check out the comments, just to be sure. Boom. Bing, bada, boom. Here you go. Everything that you need for commands. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say shout out to Reckless here. Pretty sure he's English. Okay? Shout out to Reckless for making these, or using console commands and updating them to us so that we know what's good, what's bad, and how we can use it. Alright, so for those of you who want to continue their experience, I'll give you a piece of advice. Broaden your skills in translation. You see this? This guy is purposely doing it in English just for you. Even though he's Russian. He doesn't even have to speak English. But he is, just for CSGO players like you. So love him. Well, you don't have to. I mean, you can hate the guy because he's Russian. But you shouldn't hate him because he's Russian. Anyway, his name's Ashley on here. Kickback. Follow him, check him out. But this is his guide. These right here are personal videos he's done himself to increase your training in both Molotov, flashbang, and smoke. All the positions, areas, and locations you want to know that you need to know in any situation, or most situations at all. These are maps that he uses personally to improve his standing. Now you're probably saying, what's the use of wall hack? Well, wall hack, when you turn it on or you figure it out, you use wall hack or these maps to figure out what you can shoot through. if you find out that you can shoot through it. This basically just shows off items that are shoot-throughable. Based on the penetration level of your gun, you can determine what you can shoot through and what you can't using these maps. Hold on, guys. Hold on.